Everyone writes. No matter who you are or where you come from, you have written something once in your life, and therefore you are a writer. But coming to this video, what kind of writer do you want to be? When young writers start making up something, they always have these big projects or these ideas spurring in their mind. And while I love that for them, a level of consistency that needs to evolve over time based on the writing you are doing. Whether you are a student in school or an up-and-coming author, it doesn't matter. Here are the 5 main things that you should focus on when you are writing. Hello. If you don't know me, my name is Arnel Arcega. I'm one of the healthiest authors and writers on this platform. As such, I educate people on how to read and write, but also improve their lives along with it. For now, let's get into reading and writing, and in particular, how to become a better writer in the span of this video. The first thing you need to understand about writing is the term simple and complex. I've made it clear that complex does not equal good in writing. However, that same case applies with the simple. Understand first and foremost what kind of writing you are going to do. Is it a story? Is it a poem? Is it schoolwork? Or something of the like? Whatever the case is, all writers need to understand that there's a balance. You need to have complex sentences balanced out with the simple, and you need to have complex ideas balanced out with the simple. How do we do this then? How do we find this balance between what is simple and what is complex? To simply put it, it's how you deliver. I can say one simple phrase that will get you across anything in life. That sentence right there was just a complex idea, but it's explained rather simply. We have to know exactly what we're trying to get out of our writing. What type of goal are you trying to go for when writing this story? Or what do you want to achieve when writing this script, video idea, or hell, even schoolwork? All types of writing are there to move an audience. By understanding what type of message you're trying to get across, that is when you know the balance between simple and complex. Let's break this down between sentences. You could write a simple sentence like, "My dog ran," but you can expand on that by adding little bits of vocabulary here and there. "My sad dog ran, but I'm okay with it." It builds layers, it builds complexity, and you want the audience to feel something. This is considered art in the fact that you can convey it with multiple perspectives, but those perspectives have to come from both simple and complex ideas. The second big thing you need to understand as a writer is pace. Pace is one of the most important aspects no matter what kind of writing you are doing. Poems need to be especially paced well with how layered and detailed they are, all the while stuff like nonfiction stories here have to be paced at the right speed. By whatever reading or writing you are consuming, you have to know what type of pace you're going for. Is this a story where you're slowing things down or speeding things up? Is it informational and objective, so you have to thoroughly explain every little minute detail? It's all about the words we're getting across, and pace is one thing all new writers struggle with. If you want to get into the world of writing, to be able to write a book by this standard, then you need to know pace. Some of the best books ever told, like the non-fictional How to Win Friends and Influence People, has a pace so well it gets things across. Sometimes you want it to be short, other times it's best to be long. Whatever the case is, we cannot drag or we cannot go too fast. It's all about how well we spend every little detail of our time, and that can easily come through in our writing. Know that pace is all about the way you detail things. How much spacing are you going to do? How much sentences this is? While small, this is important, especially with what type of writing we're going for. My goals in my journal here are paced extremely fast. Therefore, I can write it down easily and continue being consistent. It's not about how much you do in one simple drive, but rather how much you can do over and over. It's like income. You can make tons and tons of money in your savings, but to consistently build up that income, that's what builds money. And that same case applies with writing. To be able to gradually improve every little word while pacing it accordingly, it's best to know how we do that. And once you understand the pace, you can understand this next point. The third thing you need to know as a writer is structure. Structure is especially important in every kind of writing you are doing. With essays, they have to be in MLA format or whatever format your teachers are going for. If it's something like a journal, be free verse with it, but know what kind of structure you are doing. I'm saving my thoughts for a later journal video, but this structure I have here is based around the goals I've done, the things I'm grateful for, and what I have planned the following day. It's building up every little word, and it's by using that structure I'm able to write down easier and faster techniques. It's not about how much you write, more or less it's about what you write. By being able to return to this writing each and every day, that's a good structure. It's why we return to books, because the author built a strong structure around it. I don't want stories that go on for way too long. When we are trying to write, we need to know what type of layer we're going across. And by making sure that we and the audience know what we love, then our structure is complete. It's well-rounded, and there's little issues with it. Using our pace and the simple and complex ideas surrounding this structure are great. And that's why I suggest plans before you do a huge writing project. Without any idea of what you're doing, your structure is incomplete, and the writing becomes less authentic. The fourth thing I want you to understand as a writer is reference. Reference is a huge one, because while we don't often talk about it, to be able to reference literature, bring up different ideas all around the world, and to use it to our best ability, that's what makes sharp writing. I've been referencing in my journals a lot my previous old journals, as well as the books I am reading right now. This allows me to appreciate them more, but also use them as inspiration for what I am making. No matter what kind of story or writing you're trying to tell, your reference is huge. If it's nonfiction, it is absolutely objective. Therefore, you need the references to what you are linking to. And that same case applies to fiction as well. You need to use these inspirations not as direct plagiarism, but rather ideas. Be able to reference different motifs, different methods, and be able to go back into what you are writing and appreciate what you're doing. It's great to know a good structure, pace, or even just simple and complex sentences. But if you don't have a reference around what you are writing, then there's nothing to it. You don't have a plan, and therefore the writing falls flat. And these empty pages, while small, are effective because they give you multiple ideas. Fifth and final thing I want you to understand as a writer is the conclusion. It's ironic to end the video exactly on the conclusion, but I'm telling you, this is important. Our conclusions in every story matters, because even if you are writing an essay, you need to wrap up everything in one go. Whether that's a script or a book, you have to finish the project. The less you get the project done, the more things fall apart, to say the least. It's not about how well you get it across, but finishing it is the best thing you can do. I remember going back to my first book and absolutely hating a lot of the ideas. It's why I've rewritten it twice already, and I'm completing it by the time I reach my senior year in high school. To be able to conclude an idea based on this reference, structure, pace, and even just simple and complex ideas, that's what builds consistency. Once again, we are taught as writers that we have to have a beginning, middle, and end. But we want to also be consistent with it, be able to tie up all loose ideas, and to bring this project full circle. I love what you're doing here, starting out a poem or a piece of work, but you have to be able to conclude it. So know how you want to end things. Remember, you are in charge of how you are going to end this piece of writing. No matter if it's an essay or a story, know the ending. Always pre-plan the ending. And if it doesn't work out, then change it. You have multiple drafts on your hand. And using the techniques I brought about in this video, I want you to be able to reference that. Reference this kind of knowledge and to be able to improve on the little bits of writing you can. Once you get started, you'll never stop. And even when things end, a new idea will come up. As one of my favorite quotes read, "The end of a story is like a good meal. We're stated, but it doesn't mean we'll never get hungry again." And always remember to improve on every little writing you can. I hope you can use this for the time to write a story, work on schoolwork, or hell, just write a script. Whatever the case is, continue educating yourself. Check out my Instagram down the link in the description for that personal help, along with my books down there as well. And until next time, keep on reading, keep on writing, and take care.